Hello and welcome to the Ezra Needs Catch a Break experience. I am your willing host, Ezra, and today, welcome to the final, the final part of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Rise to Ashes. Now, last time we did a lot, honestly. We accused a man of murder. Let's just get right into it. I will talk about all of my feelings about this trial, about how many goddamn videos I edited today, and whatnot, or recorded. Actually, I'm not gonna edit them today. I swear, I need a break. All of that before I give outro. But right now, we have to get through this, even though that I'm. Okay, this actually is not like really long or anything like that. February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us of your relationship with Chief Grant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get to Grant. Grant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Grant for years. My throat is really starting to hurt. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found prosecutors Marshall, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Darky convicted. It had nothing to do with email. Wasn't that a fucking lie? Are you sure about this testimony? I had to turn off my notifications. Oh my gosh. Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana... If that is true, then that means Chief Grant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. You've gotta help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? Damn, Phoenix. She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah. This is no time to go start second-guessing myself. Let's go. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Let's do this. Time to press some statements. AKA, rearranging this. It's the first press. You said you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? the wombo combo of the defense and the prosecutor both being like, so I'm gonna need you to say something. It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The, bro- the broken prosecutor award knife stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you deemed was possible. Dreamed was possible? The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright. But I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Darky? Something like that. If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Darky was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh. That was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Darky's knife and planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. You can't just say that. You planted the tip of Darky's knife in the wound and you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Why did you move the body? When you showed up in the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Grant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Skye moved the body. Pieces of that jar shattered during the events threatened my plan. No, actually. Alright, so where is it? Miss Skye, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered. If the truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony. You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of that jar shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on the jar in the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly. So, and this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Ema's name on a shattered jar. Order, order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we are headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Darky was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Jar, message, blood, blah, blah, blah. You say that, but there's still limits on the... Miss Skye, I believe this jar conceals the truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of the jar in Chief Grant's office. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about the final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night the prosecutor marshal was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Grant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces were too big for anyone to miss, let alone for an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Huh, can you believe that? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying that this person was Chief Grant at the time. He was looking for Darky downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why would he hide the fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer that? No. Crash out, Judge. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Grant, oh God, arrived at the scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Grant do something like that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear what happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Deskai believed her sister Ema killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought out Grant's aid. Lending her his aid, Grant helped her create evidence that incriminated Darky. But we cannot guarantee that you'll still walk at 40. Sorry. Sparing Ema. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Ema. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. Stereotypically, isn't it usually the police who don't like defense attorneys? Because they get off their arrested? Hypothetically? I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Grant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do testify lies, then, Mr. Wright? No, not that. You might be innocent, thank God. Miss Sky, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Ema's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there's a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. All right. The witness may testify once more for the final time. The what? Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the suit of armor's sword. Ema and Darky were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Grant to help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Ema might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor stand sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. Why? I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember seeing a picture like that. She gave you a book. Anna must have known... See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember seeing any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check the evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Yep, go ahead and check that. Hey, there's a picture here. A picture. Uh, oh, oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No, no other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Hey, remember the cloth that we have? Mr. Wright, the piece cut out from his vest, could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Grant's safe? What's that? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints... they're yours. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. As long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flesh out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. No. Alright, I found Mr. Marshall's body in prison suit. Hold it. Oh! Come now, Udgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Weren't you supposed to be at a lunch date? Chief Grant. What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy, too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. Nope, you can't do that. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. Thus, that must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back and relax, and enjoy the sound of a noose tightening around your own neck. Crash out, crash out, crash out! Yeah! So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? Me. It's me. I have the conclusive evidence. So, what's your excuse, righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is that true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, you must sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present the piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? No. Dude, you're already gonna lose your job. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence that I can present at this point in time. What? You lie. Chief Grant? You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Grant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. He's talking an awful lot. See the victim's vest? Anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Oh! Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Rido. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. No can do. You forfeited your right to testify. What? You mean, you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use this situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask for my aid. You assisted Miss Skye. I told her to arrange all of the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Darkey convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean the items in your safe. But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging evidence? What do you take me for? A fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? Hit the most eligible part of Eamon's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, let's say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come now, Rido. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are we waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it, then, Chief Grant? You were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Rido. You said you should have shown it then, before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up this victory, it's up here. Victory is mine. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Nerve-wracking. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut off this piece of from the victim's vest. Oh, yes. At last, you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that immediately be sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact if left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. You're right. You're as slow in the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Rido had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to is... We're not lying. We're telling the truth. Ema? Ema Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Ema. But why didn't you tell me? Oh, you're really something, Rido. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. We're not saying that she did the murder, just that it's her fingerprints. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. Hold it. How could you? You monster! Miss Sky? You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't... Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. It's true. I am absolutely gonna lose my job. Me and Edgeworth, the Phoenix, and Gumshoe all lost their job this trial. You purposely concealed as conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. So did you. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one thing I had to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Grant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Ema Sky, wasn't it? I don't think she would have been strong enough. I don't even think she's strong enough now to make that imprint. Like, yeah, it's her hand, but I don't think she has enough strength to make that imprint. So, no. I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about the contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Grant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, a piece of evidence that would contradict this cloth. It's the picture, yeah. Jesus Christ. It's the picture. What exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest is cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but this piece of cloth... Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah. Crash out, crash out, crash out. Sorry. Since Ema Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at the time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Grant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. So, if so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armorer's sword. Then, to make it look like Emo was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, a jar that they broke on purpose to leave behind a clue, and then make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted to only moments ago? That you personally cut this bloodless piece of off the victim's chest? Ironic, isn't it? Throughout the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! Yes! It's finally all over. Says who? That was close, Rido. You almost had me. You're sweating. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute all your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Order. Order. What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Uji? Earlier, old Raiho here concealed that piece of cloth. You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present the evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair! Oh, did you actually think you could best me in court? Looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Grant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems, at last, it's time for me to reveal my plan. Has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, did you admit to it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not. I admit I refused to present it at one point. He said at this time, didn't he? So the evidence is illegal. No. I'm not done. No, it isn't, Mr. Grant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present the evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean, couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Aji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. Shut up. There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is that evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present the evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not a violation of the law, do so now. Should be shown without approval as these determined unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the trial. Okay. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, it was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... We didn't have the picture. Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented? It was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Grant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut this piece of cloth out of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. No. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before the prosecuting marshal in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and the only the person who that could be, Damon Grant, the killer was you. No. Crash out. Alright, calm down. Calm down. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then, all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer out the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker as he was taking the evidence out and said, "It's not too late. I'm gonna hand this all over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other ways to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker? I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar of fragments in the glove. Yeah. Looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You had to have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why did you stand in court? Why do you stand in court? Me? We despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day, you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try and go at it alone. Looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Demont Grant. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator, and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Rido here. And Worthy. Do we, though? Are we not gonna get fired? With those two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious songs of a new beginning. Wow, that's the beginning for Justice for All. That's wild. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Demont Grant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had to help Grant, from the time I had Grant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all of your trouble. My. What high standard you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. I am losing my voice very fast. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Skye? Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt this free of these heavy chains. Well, this trial has gone on for far too long already. Regarding the charges of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. Give me that not guilty verdict! Yeah! This has been months in the making. Jesus Christ. That is all. The court is adjourned. Oh, thank the heavens. Okay. Jesus. Resting my voice for like 10 seconds. Okay. February 25th, 5:03. God damn, we were in there for a long time. PM. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Ema? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I don't think she actually said Faye, but okay. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Miss Starchworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. No, get your ass back here. Get back here, Gumshoe. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around all around while on duty. To top it all off, you called me here. I've seen half of people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell you if you won't. Ema, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis? I asked Grant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much it was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. It's always the eyes. I was scared how you. Oh god. I was scared how you'd react if you knew I'm not gonna be able to talk tomorrow. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Ema, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. Can she put this on her, like, resume? Oh, there was this one case that I helped with, like, for the entirety. I don't know. I just knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Ema. Bro, I'm happy for them. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is try to make up for it in our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find a way back to our rightful path. It is from there we can move forward to a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Who are you talking to? Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? My boy? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Where was he hiding? I don't know, behind the couch. I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Bye, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth? Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Grant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down, once you try and go at it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them, but in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But, Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Grant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Come to the dark side, Edgeworth. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Demont Grant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, I forgot about him. We're both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. Hey, Edward! It's me and you, buddy. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh. Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? I know what it is. Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. Because you both had two halves. That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Ina's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll be your weapon, buddy. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there's still some loose ends I need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. Seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. See you later, Edgeworth. I better be going too. Okay. But I'll be by to visit soon. Do you have parents? Because, like, if not, the only reason I'm questioning is because they haven't been brought up. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. And so, another case came to a close. 5. This man has done 5 cases. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. Well, yeah, all of those people. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks in prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to seek her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Right here is the one who be footing the bill. Huh? What, you thought I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Is that the end? Okay, so that was Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. God damn it, what is the title of this game? Should be pleased to study in the top corner. For me, this fair is pretty much under the director's office. Still, I managed to find my way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Ema. That's great. Well, yikes. I thought it was a goner for a moment there. Oh, thank God. They will look my unauthorized investigation the chief's offered. If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show. Can't shake me off that easily. Turnabouts, yeah? Pro this game. Please tell me that's it. Please tell me we're just doing... Okay. Holy crap, this trial. Hi, Meekins. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday, I'm gonna make a detective. Yes, sir. Then I can do just like Dick Gumshoe. Okay. I really like this. I really liked this trial overall, and I really like this game. There is more. Obviously, this is the trilogy. But this specific one here was really fun. I liked it a lot. Not you, though. Not the Blue Badger. That can die. Alright, I hate its song. It's annoying. Oh. Ha! This was cool. I had a lot of fun. But by God, did it take me super long to get through this. What is it? Can't you see I'm having a showdown with the steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this to me. She's seen one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Sure, why not? This was so much. First of all, this was so much for me to record. Oh, hi, Nistar. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. A farewell gift. Put meal on the menu. The right way lunch. Its top layer tastes bitter as defeat, and the bottom layer is sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Yeah, that's wild. When did I start this? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? When did I start playing the Phoenix Ace Attorney? I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he was doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I got another trial to go to, so I better be... Huh? Oh, no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. Oh, that's fun. It's fun to see all the characters. How long have I been doing this? I'm very much tapped out of the game right now. Huh, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Oh, it's weird to see you. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objections. Yet, I can't go back before I'm a full-fledged Mystic Maya. Afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. What the fuck? Okay. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? I brought your tea. What's going on? I don't know. Thanks for having to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. Anytime. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. that's even better. That's a thumbnail. Awesome. That's so cool. Capcom! Woo! We did it! There's the achievement! Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this game. I don't know when we'll do another Ace Attorney thing. Cause, you know, there is more to be done. Much more to be done. Trust me on that. But, for now, that's the end for, today. I hope you have enjoyed. The next video is not going to be Ace Attorney, thank God. Because my voice hurts. The next video will be Minecraft, where I will undoubtedly rant, or I guess it's closer to gush, about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, because I really liked the first book. Until then, I have been your host, Ezra. Thank you so much for sticking around today. See you later. Bye.